This is VSG number 146. That's
That
kind of
sounds
crazy to
funny.
think about.
That sounds funny.
I know. And of course, as usual, when we start late, it's because of
No,
a certain person who
no.
just has an issue with getting things started on time.
Nah, nope.
Um,
What is going on now?
so today is going to be fun, Brandon. We put together a video rules test last week, and as we mentioned when we sent out the email, it was inspired by our guy Guilherme from Brazil. He asked us to write a rules question for his study group. They thought it would be really cool if we wrote a rules question for them. So I started doing that, and of course, we love video. I know for myself personally, I'm not the biggest fan of written rules tests, but I love rules application, and I love practicing my rules knowledge through the use of video. So that kind of got us started down the path of creating a video rules test. So today we're going to review it. How about that?
Yeah, I mean the first time I ever saw a video rules test was at actually a conference clinic, or what am I trying to say? Preseason clinic? What do we call those things? I don't know.
Clinic.
You know those things that happen in July?
Yeah.
And it was like they put a play on the board, video play,
right?
And there was a rulesy, words that you had to read, but you had to visualize the play.
Right.
It's way better than I'm sure everybody's cranking on that CFO whatever test right now. Didn't that get released now? That's open now.
So I'm gonna lie and say yes, but I have no idea because I haven't registered. Somebody told me something about RefQuest and all this other crap. I haven't done any of that yet.
No, I'm not worried about RefQuest because that would be something new to me. But anyways, I think it's cool to have a visual representation of what we're trying to interpret.
Yes.
Rather than just reading words.
And for those of us who like words, we typed out the question too as well. So if you prefer to use words, feel free. Take the words and create your own test and read it and do whatever you want to do.
So this is going to be fun because we're going to be all over the place here.
We are
all over the place.
We are.
But let's just do it.
Let's dive in, man.
All right. So this is play one, and we're talking about 1A. And what are we talking about? We're talking about these intentional grounding aspects, right?
Correct, because we have to work through these.
Yep. So what did 1A talk about, though?
So basically, what we said in 1A, and I'm going to stall until I open up my deal. So the nearest eligible player was at the 835. The ball, you can see a player out of bounds catch the ball at about the 49. So that's 14 yards, almost 15 yards beyond the nearest eligible player. Mm-hmm. The player was outside of the numbers. And what we're asking is, if the line of scrimmage official does not report the status of the eligible receiver in the area to the referee, what should the field judge do?
Perfect. All right, so let's just let this loop a couple more times, and then through the magic of screen share, we're going to get to our results because this is really good stuff. These results, I just love that we do this and quantify what people are thinking. It just gives us so much, who wants to, I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I don't want to go and just listen to what somebody thinks.
Correct.
Well, I don't want to do that all my life. I want to be involved. Yeah. And I want to think about it. And then I want to see kind of how I stack up. And then whether I'm listening to you or somebody's listening to me, or unfortunately, if they have to listen to you, I think that's good. I think that's a whole kind of integrated process of doing this. So it's just something I wanted to share.
Well, yeah.
You didn't really like that, did you?
No, I'm listening to you. As you mentioned, you like listening to people. I was processing what you said. But I also just wanted to share that we shared this quiz not only with VSG members, but also with just everyone who is in our database of officials that have contacted us at some point in
Correct.
time. So these percentages and these numbers really quantify the entire pure officiating community.
The world, likely.
Yes.
It might be too aggressive.
No, because I'm sure we have an Australia vote in here. We probably have a Brazilian vote in here. So and then if you add in United States of America, that's 3 countries on Mexico. 3 different continents. We can go ahead and call that the world.
Worldwide.
That's
all right. So 1A, if L does not report status of eligible in the area to R, what should F do? So we saw the play. The ball's thrown high over there, outside the numbers, all this great stuff. What should F do? So 3% said F shouldn't do anything since L is primary on eligible receivers. All right, we'll go back to the video in a second, but just real quick, just
draw a big black line through that, Brandon.
Just we're not doing that.
We're never, yes.
Yeah.
that is literally not the way we want to ever work any aspect of officiating on the field by saying, well, that's not my job, so I'll let them handle it, especially if we see something and we have an opinion on it.
Yeah. And only 3% said that. So hopefully F is involved. I don't care who the official is that we would call out here. What should B do? What should umpire do? What should, I mean, if you have something, you see something, say something, right? That beautiful compliance, that I love the corporate world. 42% said F should go tell the R there was no receiver in the area. All right. And then 55% said, so this is where we get into it, right? 55% said F shouldn't do anything since the receiver cut his route off and the pass went in his direction over his head. Okay. So at this point, let's get back to, let's make this very seamless. Please get back to the video. Yeah, right there. So the debate is, what should F go tell the R that the receiver cut his route off, or should the F do nothing?
I think the real debate is, what is the F's judgment on this play?
Yeah.
And I think that's really what we're quantifying with this question. Do we think the receiver cut his route off and the pass went over his head and he's outside the number? So we say, well, we'll call that an eligible receiver in the area. Or do we feel like, look, there's just nobody in the area and we just have to go tell the referee there's nobody in this area? So that really, I think, is the decision point that we need to make here.
Well, and here's what I want to say. If you arrive at the decision point that there's nobody in the area, of course you have to go tell the referee.
Absolutely.
And that's why that 3% was just, we're not doing that. Like we're not just leaving. This is not the line judge's responsibility. Okay, good. All right. So as far as this guy cutting his route off, the ball's thrown high and deep. I mean, we're getting into that wonderful philosophy area now, right?
Right.
Unless this has gotten into the rules lately, has it?
I don't think so. No, I think we're still in philosophy territory.
Okay. So we said it's a video rules test. That was a lie. It's just a video test. It's not even a test. It's a bunch of plays with possible interpretations that create great discussion.
Exactly.
All right. Here's what I want to offer. I want to offer that the field judge has as much on in his database about this play, about the timing of this pass, as anybody else on the field, including the referee. I think that should be a factor in deciding if this is appropriate for reporting an eligible not in the area, or reporting not even or really. I agree with doing nothing, because how fast the pass comes out and the fact that, look, the receiver's outside, the ball's thrown high and deep. It's a quick, almost timing play. I'm going to judge this as a receiver in the area for that reason.
Right. So let's play it out, Brandon. Let's say the line of scrimmage official points to, I can't tell what number that is, but points to the receiver who's standing out there. Yep. And you're comfortable as the field judge, you see that point and you say, okay, yeah, I agree with that. I don't need to do anything with this.
I'm not doing anything.
Correct. I'm good with that.
All right. Now, here's somebody could tell me this pass lands 20 yards deep, like probably more than 20 yards away from this receiver, right?
Right.
So I'm going in to tell him. And since this is philosophy territory, We want to make sure that as a crew, we're solid on this, because we can't have, like, in the first half, we're doing this, we're working, or forget about the first half. On one side of the field, we have this great philosophy going on between the field judge and the line judge. On the other side of the field, between the side judge and the head linesman, we have a different philosophy. We can't do that,
Right.
So that's why this is so important to get on the same page.
Right. Agreed.
All right. So I like, and I threw in a curveball. Are you okay with me talking about timing of all this as a factor for the field judge?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But
it's obviously not a broken play. That's
correct.
It's obviously not a broken play.
I like what you're saying there. So yes, I see what you're saying. But what I was going to say is inherent in my evaluation of the receiver cut his route off probably is the timing of the pass, to be perfectly honest. So I don't think I don't think as a field judge we will be explicitly evaluating the timing of the pass, but I think we will be implicitly evaluating the timing of the pass based on putting the whole play together with the route concept and everything.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's keep monitoring the chat. If you have disagreements on that, by all means, please share your disagreements. But we're going to move on to, this is clunky, but that's okay. 1B. So what happens on 1B? We've all seen the play, so let's just get into it.
Yeah. 1B, the line judge actually goes and reports to the referee, look, Mr. Referee, there are no eligible receivers in the area. So now what should the field judge do?
Right. Look at this. 19% said field judge shouldn't do anything since all his primary ineligible receivers in the area. And then 81% said F should tell R that the receiver cut his head off and the pass went in his direction over his head. It's very related to 1A, correct?
Correct. It's extremely related because now we have another official who has given, based on our first evaluation in 1A, it has given a conflicting opinion.
Right.
Or a conflicting judgment. So now what are we going to do?
Exactly. So if our judgment is that what we explained in 1A, if everybody's comfortable with that, then if this happens in 1B and the line just actually goes in, you got to get in there.
You got to get in there.
Got to get in there. Right?
Correct.
Got to get in there. So this is really good stuff. And 81% actually agree with that. The 19%, you were just not out there to, very, very kind of harshly. And if I can just do this for a second, since we're all kind of friends here, we're just not out there to take up space. You know what I mean? Like, we're just not no, but that's not our job, is not to just stand there and take up space. If somebody is going to tell somebody else something and you have something to offer on that very aspect, then we really need you in there. Or if it's me, I really need to be in there. Right. Okay, cool.
And Brandon,
cool.
You kind of mentioned it before. The field judge probably has the best perspective on this. The line of scrimmage official, I don't remember what exactly the formation was, but the field judge has the best perspective on a receiver being in the area. And it is conceivable that the line of scrimmage official would look up and say, whoa, there's nobody down here. And that's very conceivable. So just as a field judge, let's put ourselves in that position and imagine that this is actually happening while we're out there on the field, because it's possible.
Awesome. All right. As I just kind of build the airplane after we take off here, which is great. Okay. And then 1C, obviously it's the same play. We've all seen it. Let's get it. Let's get after it. And look at these results. I mean, this is great. 58% versus 42.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what? You're in the, really, I think the question is implying, if I'm not mistaken, now you're more in the head of the referee.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And people might get mad. Well, you didn't tell me that. Well, that was pretty intentional.
Right.
We have done, by just a quick aside, and I know this is really great content with us staring at numbers on the screen. We have done things in pre-games where we just be super vague with our crew.
Right.
And we let people fill in the gaps. So this is kind of that. So go ahead and maybe, if you don't mind, talk about these results.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Now what we're saying is we have either the L or F or both have told the referee there is no eligible in the area. So now the referee has to make a decision, because that's the first aspect of intentional grounding, eligible in the area and or pass being beyond the line of scrimmage. So they come and tell us, look, there's no eligible in the area. So now we got to make a decision as a referee.
All right. 42% said ing, so making the call. So you're, as a referee, you're dropping the flag, right?
Dropping the flag, that's right.
42, and then 58% said no foul. Okay, back to the video, right?
That's right.
Go back to the video. This is great. This is great. And we talked about a little bit about timing before. So pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. So as a referee now, since the question implies that we're in the mind of the referee, working this play, here we go. What do you see? Just what do you see? Everything. Just work this play and tell me how you process this play.
So literally working this play, I would notice the right guard pushing the defender to the ground. I would never even see the quarterback throw the ball. The ball is clearly gone. I know that. And there's a correlation between pressure on the quarterback, between my vision on the quarterback and if the quarterback is under duress. If I never even looked at the quarterback, never even had an idea what happened with the quarterback, then I'm not considering this player under duress at all. And just for those of you who do not work the referee or center judge position, just look at the pocket on this play. The pocket is as clean as you can get. There is literally nobody within the zip code of the quarterback. There's no pressure on the quarterback. This player is not under duress. Therefore, we cannot have a foul for intentional grounding.
Perfect. Quarterback's not panicked. It's not a broken play. This is a pass on time.
That's correct.
It's so funny to watch the officials at the bottom of the screen mess with the chains. This is play 2. Play 2 of the camp.
That's correct.
Literally play 2 of the camp after a lightning delay, which it was just funny to remember all this stuff. But anyways, quarterback is getting the shotgun snap, taking a couple steps back, throwing the ball on time. Receiver, for whatever reason, doesn't run the go route the quarterback was expecting. No panic, no pressure, no duress. Can't be intentional ground. Just
Correct.
can't. Just cannot be. Forget about philosophy stuff. Forget about standards. This is by rule.
By rule, not intentional grounding.
Not even close. So the quarterback, other than spiking it, I believe, straight down at his feet, can pretty much throw this ball anywhere on the field, correct?
I think he can spike it too, but that's a great question. It's the offseason. I probably should know this. He's in the shotgun.
So think about this. So he gets the ball. He steps back. He holds it. He looks around. And then for whatever
that's
reason,
different. Oh, I thought you meant immediately he's just spiking it.
No, not a clock kill. Yeah.
No, he can't do that.
But he can throw the ball anywhere he wants, other than just spiking it straight down after some
Correct.
After the snap.
Correct.
Very good. Very good.
Correct.
All right. Here we go. We're having fun. We're moving.
All right, we're off to a rip-roaring start.
We were done with 1 play out of 10, but it was kind of 3 plays in a way. So just it'll be okay. We'll get there. All right, let's go to play 2. I'm going to do it differently, and then you tell me if you don't like the way I do it.
I'm rolling with you, Brandon.
All right.
You like it, I love it.
So play 2, we had some issues with what? Oh my goodness, this is a lot of words. Again, is there a way to?
It's just a holding play. It's just a holding play.
Oh, okay. Maybe
we
you should have said
evaluating
that.
the action. I think it's kind of obvious.
At the snap, left tackle A67 grab B47 at the A30, and as B47, I'm doing it again, and I was hoping you would yell at me. A67 pulled and turned. Okay. Anyways, we know the dead ball spot. We know, and we're going to see the video here in a second. We know the dead ball spot. We know the spot of the potential foul.
Correct.
Right? And then we know the previous spot. So I think we've got all the spots we need, which is you should really become an author. You're just painting a picture here, man. This is unbelievable. Anyways, so we're going to have to remember this in some kind of a way, but 1% said first and 22. It's holding. Okay. Can I just do your technique here? Can I just do this?
Hold on.
It's first and 10.
I was clicking. Oh,
It's first and 10. So how could we ever wind up at first and 22 on if we're talking about holding? I guess we got to watch the play, but
we need to watch the play, correct?
Just so everybody understands, it's almost. Is it absolutely impossible? I think it is. You can't.
I think it's impossible.
First and 22 on holding. So now we've got to decide: are we going to be first and 20 at the 820 position 3 or position 1, or then the other debate is should it even be a foul at all? Well,
right.
Luckily, we have
the video.
if we can figure it out, which is perhaps, man, I'm telling you what, this is okay. Here we go. I got it.
Hopefully you're writing down the ones that you're clicking. So this should be it. This is it.
Good. All right. Here's the play. So we know this is a zoomed out version. We know what we're going to be watching. We said the left tackle.
Really interesting action that we need to evaluate.
Yep. Get the end zone shot up. Get that left tackle number 67 blocking 47. The left tackle, obviously, on the view from the defense is to the right. All right. So where were we snapped? The 30?
Correct. First and 10 at the 8:30.
Okay.
Well, we're trying to enforce the penalty. We don't even know if it's a foul yet, Brandon.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay. Well, this is a great play, and this is a great mechanics play. One that we could really have fun drawing arrows and stopping and doing all this great stuff, putting numbers up, right? I mean, we could do all that. This is great. But here, look at this technique by the left tackle. Right away. There's no slow motion or anything like that. But just from the end zone view, he basically encircles. I think this is at some point this was called the. No, it wasn't. Never mind. Let me just. He just encircles. It's a double hook. I was going to say lobster or something, clamshell or something. That's not. I'm not with the seafood thing right now. That's not where I'm at. All right. This is a double hook outside the shoulders, completely around to the back of the player's body, right? And just grabs around the numbers, torques him down. And what's interesting is the runner starts to the right, but then bounces it to his left. And that creates more time, right? I mean, there's a point in this play where you could see this technique, and if the runner gets tackled as this is happening, there's no way it would be a foul because it's so far away.
Correct.
But that's why our officiating standards, which I didn't know they were called standards now until I just read it in the chat. They used to be called philosophies, say has an effect or could have an effect on the play.
Mm-hmm.
That's why those words are in there. This could have an effect on the play. I don't think you can argue that there's restriction on this player. And I don't think you can argue that once the running back bounces it out, there's a humongous delay from the time the restriction occurred to the time the ball becomes dead. And oh, by the way, this runner now runs right by where the restriction took place a little while ago. You know what I mean?
That's correct.
Yeah. So to me, I got everything I need. All the blender things we talk about, bad blocking technique, restriction, yes. Big time delay from restriction to ball being dead. The proximity gets close just as a result of what the runner does. I've got everything I need to make this call for holding. I
agree. I'm a fly the flag on this one too.
Okay.
All right, let's enforce it.
Previous spot, position 3.
Previous spot was position 3, correct.
Foul. What would you say in that thing that the spot of the foul was?
Yeah, we put the foul at the 30-yard line, which is at the line of scrimmage.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay.
Huh? That was intentional.
Yeah, exactly. The end of the run is
behind the neutral zone.
Yeah. And that's why we say you can't go from the end of the run here back and end up being first and 22 from I think position 5 or whatever position. This is flipped. I don't know what we said here. But you can't do that because if the end of the run is behind the neutral zone, then the basic spot is now the previous spot.
That's correct.
Spot of the foul is at the same spot as the previous spot. What about
at the
lateral,
same line of scrimmage?
at
as
the same
previous
line
spot.
of scrimmage? What about lateral position? Where was the spot of the foul at?
The lateral position of foul was somewhere near position that one is at the top of the screen, just
Yep.
for edification, and that's what we kind of talked about. But the foul occurred somewhere near position 3.
All right. All right.
Or
Well,
we could say 2, whatever, 2 or 3.
we could say 2, whatever. I mean, here's the thing, though. If we're putting the spot of the foul at the line of scrimmage, then we've talked about this. The spot of the foul becomes the enforcement spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So, yeah, we want to throw our flag into a quiet area, but here we would want to adjust that flag to the actual spot if indeed we're on the line of scrimmage. Isn't that crazy?
That's correct. That's correct.
So I think this would be properly marked off. If we're saying the foul's at the 30, which is where the ball was snapped from, it looks like more like position 2, which wasn't even an option. But.
Correct. We did position 3 for purposes of the test because you can see where the guy spun around. It's kind of like
ends
right
up
at
in the middle of
post.
the field.
Yeah.
All right. So there it is.
But the point is, it's not at position 1. We're not.
It can't be at position 1.
Correct.
Yeah, it can't be at position 1, right? So we drew a line through the 1st and 22s. We talked about that. Why that's by rule not possible. It can't be out at position 1. That's where the end of the run is.
That's correct.
But that's not. End of the run's behind the neutral zone. So now the basic spot's the previous spot.
Yeah.
We talked about why it actually is holding with all our factors involved. So boom, there it is. 3/4 of the world said 1st and 20 from the A20 at position 3, and we agree.
All right. 2 plays, 30 minutes. That's I'm not good at math, Brandon, but that's about 5 hours.
Yeah, that's 2 plays per hour, and we've got 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Not going as fast as you might have thought it would go, huh? I think
okay.
if you would just let me read the words, I think it would go much better.
I know that'd be so much better.
What are we doing on play 3? What's the essence of play 3?
Yeah, so let's just put the play on. We have someone leaking out. We have a lineman leaking out to the second level. We have some interesting contact at the top of the receiver's route, and then we have a hit at the end of the play.
All right, here we go.
So we'll see a lineman leak out to the second level. Then we see a pass, and we see some contact at the end of the play. So basically, and you know what, Brandon, this is interesting. I had a conversation with someone this weekend about, are we going to send out the answers to the test? And he said, well, some of them you had to, like, it wasn't really and I was like, yeah, I know. That's the point. You have to make your judgment on some of these aspects. Whether you think something is a foul or not, that's the way that you're going to answer the question. So some of them, there is no right, quote unquote, answer. Some of them there are. But in this play, we're evaluating ineligible downfield. We're also evaluating potential OPI, and we're evaluating potential late hit or unnecessary roughness type of hit. So we need to evaluate all 3 of those and then make a decision. Whatever we decide is fine, but then we have to enforce it. And this play, that was the essence of this play.
So 74 is downfield. You can't debate that, can you?
That's not a debate. I don't think anybody should ever say that. That's not judgment at all.
Advantage, disadvantage?
That's a foul.
No, it's not. That's a foul.
That's a foul all day, every day.
He potentially or could have occupied whoever that player is that he kind of goes downfield towards. He's like at 5 at the release. Forget about that. It's a foul.
So that's a 5-yard penalty at least on the
offense. Okay, this little and then we talked about this little shove, right? At the top of the route.
Yes, at the top of the receiver's route.
Oh, man.
We need to determine.
End zone view obscures it a little bit. Sideline view, although great camera work, doesn't give us a perfectly zoomed in shot. Not like it's an ISO shot.
It's the number 2 receiver up top is what we're looking at.
So
I think that contact is interesting, and I really wish Corey and or Daniel were available today to discuss it with us.
Nah, we don't need those guys complicating the game.
I'll be honest. The receiver intentionally puts out a stiff arm towards the defender. We see some space between the receiver and the defender as the receiver cuts towards the sideline. But I don't think that this is a forceful enough contact to warrant a foul for offensive pass interference.
Just devil's advocate. This is not swimming through a jam.
Correct.
This is not knocking arms off.
Yes.
This is a stiff arm to the chest plate.
Exactly.
So,
excellent point.
So what that means, because I actually agree with you, but what that means is that it takes less force. In my opinion, I don't know if you agree with this. It takes less force. If you're going to stiff arm the guy at the top of the route to the chest plate, it doesn't take much to rise to the level of OPI. Versus, you could forcibly knock that guy's arms down and like do a kung fu, like whatever, right? And you're knocking his arms down, you're
send him to the ground
through and send him to the ground.
Yeah,
and that would not be OPI.
Correct.
So that's really interesting.
Correct.
This is right on the edge.
This is right on the edge. I agree. So if someone determined that this was offensive pass interference, I don't think we would totally disagree with it.
In fact, I'll tell you this right now. If we call this is like the call of the camp. I'm being a little overbearing just to make a point. But I mean, because then we know visual mechanics were on point. Movement was on point. We're looking exactly where we're looking. Where we need to be looking. It would just be amazing to talk through this. And then we'd have the same debate. Is that enough or isn't it? And we'd say, heck yeah, great call. Anyways, that's just what I think we would do. All right. So then we have contact out of bounds.
Correct.
Or close to out of bounds.
Close to out of bounds.
At the end or at or near or after the end of the play, right?
Right.
What do you see there?
I may be the only one who thought this contact was interesting.
I thought it was too.
I thought the defender clearly knew the ball was incomplete. I thought that the contact was totally unnecessary, but it's just right on the edge of forceability that would, to me, rise to the level of a foul. Yeah. It's really close. Again, just like the OPI action. Yeah. Really close to a foul, but just something is just not there that makes it a foul, in my opinion.
Okay, so I agree. So you can't tell me he didn't go after this guy because he did.
Oh, he clearly did.
You can't tell me he could have avoided all of this because he
didn't have to touch him.
But he didn't really hit him.
He just kind of he snuggled with him and they went to the ground.
I don't like this as UNR. I just think that this is really good one to show some presence, talk to him, say, man, that's right on the edge. Come on, man. Look, just let him know we're there.
Right.
It's so late though. Again, though, how late that is.
I know
the amount of force needed to rise to the level of unnecessary roughness goes down.
Way down.
It's like hits on the quarterback. The later it is, the less force is required.
Right.
Because it's just so unnecessary.
Correct.
Come on. Okay.
So if we throw the flag there again, Brandon, would you be upset with a flag right there?
I kind of would be more upset than the OPI flag. Not
more upset than the OPI.
Upset's not the right word, but yeah.
I've seen you upset.
No, you haven't actually. Well, other than at you, but that's obvious.
Well, I remember I was there when you couldn't count to 11.
Oh yeah.
You were pretty upset.
Funny how that seems to keep happening on different plays around the country. So what do all these answers mean? Because 50% of the world said 1st and 15 at the 825.
Right. So that means 50% of the world said, you know what? That's a foul for IDP.
Only.
But it's not OPI. It's not a late hit out of bounds. So that's where most of us landed, which is, I think, where you and I landed as well.
So this is IDP only.
Correct.
What about, 1st and 10 at the 830? They said no, don't even call anything? No. Offset. What? How can you offset? 1st
Correct.
and 10 at the 830.
It could be a live ball late hit. It could be a live ball, not live ball, late hit. Live ball UNR, or it could be
UNR.
Right.
What? So that's definitely. Let's go back because that would not be a live ball foul.
Well, if someone, I see what you're saying because the pass hit the ground, but I think that's the way that. Yeah.
Well, just conceptually.
Correct.
If
we don't want to call that.
If a guy goes after a receiver clearly after he has failed to catch a pass.
Yeah.
Like with that amount of time, just make that a dead ball foul.
There you go.
If you're going to call
There you go.
it. Okay. All right. What about if you went 1st and 25 at the A15? What you're going OPI, and then we don't know if you're going IDP, but we assume you're declining IDP, right?
Correct. OPI only.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, hopefully you still.
Well, yeah. Hopefully we
Yeah,
got the IDP.
1st and 10 at the A45. That's UNR only.
UNR only. Correct.
1st and 10 at the A40. What the heck? What? Oh, that's IDP and
Plus
UNR.
In UNR. Correct.
Live ball, dead ball.
That's correct.
Very interesting. Okay.
Yes. So now
Okay,
we can
so
see what
here's what's
people's
interesting
opinion
to
are
me.
of the fouls.
Right. I don't hate the 7%. Even though I already said I did. I don't. Because at least you got it on the dead ball. That's what I'm saying. I like that as dead ball foul. Now 9% with UNR only, you missed the IDP, right?
Yeah.
We missed the IDP there.
We
So
got to
can't
get
just-
the IDP.
We
We
can't ignore
have to get the
IDP.
IDP.
Right. So either we just didn't see it, although the question clearly points it out. So we reading comprehension, video, we missed it, whatever. Right. We just got to go back. The 9% of this, we just got to go back and like, how did I miss that IDP? Which is fine. That's why this is a video test, I guess. I hate that word. OPI decline IDP. I'm okay with that. I mean, that's what we were talking about, right? So you said I'm gonna pass on the UNR. I don't love it, but I am gonna go with the OPI.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
So actually, Brandon, and now I'm remembering. I had a just quick conversation with the writer of this question.
Oh, really?
Answer number 2 is OPI plus dead ball UNR, and we just told.
Oh, good point.
We just didn't call
good
it
point.
IDP at all.
Good point. Good point. Thank you. Nobody's calling that a live ball UNR.
No.
No. Thank you. We probably should have figured that out.
Yeah.
Okay. OPI. So we called the OPI. We called the UNR.
Correct.
They essentially cancel.
Easy.
1st and 20.
Easy.
The UNR becomes an automatic first down. So you're going to reset it. Just so happens where you end up is where the previous spot was.
Exactly.
Let's not get into the fact that they
don't be canceling that out.
Cute.
Don't do that.
That's being cute, right?
Yes.
Oh, I'll do the math. Don't do that.
No.
All right. Okay, cool. Right. So we called the I love it. So we called the OPI. We called the UNR.
Right.
We enforced them both because it's live ball, dead ball.
Right.
They don't combine to offset.
Right.
They just so happen to be 15-yard penalties. Okay.
Right.
And then the 49% said IDP only. So it's really interesting. I mean, we already explained everything. Anything else to add on this?
Nope. That was a good one. I like that play.
I love that.
It really got a chance. We got a chance to see what people thought about the different actions.
Yeah. I guess we should do some Luxner math, but he's not here. So let's not. I'm kind of sick of that anyways. Because we could figure out like, oh, he is here.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh,
suspension's over.
Hey, can you tell with these numbers what % of what people had what, or do we even care? 16
like
plus 20, 36% had UNR, right?
Yeah.
35% had OPI.
That's really the interesting ones.
Yeah. Did you see this play, Corey?
No, I did not. I just got on 71% had IDP.
Right. Hey, yeah. This is more interesting than you doing math. Show your opinion.
Okay, yes.
Your opinion at the top of the route of the number 2 receiver up top. Both angles show it, but the end zone view kind of obscures it. And we'll let you go unfiltered, and then we'll tell you what we said.
Okay. Is that our best view, or is the end zone give us anything?
The end zone. That's probably your best view, though.
Okay. I mean, obviously, you see that big left arm extend. But for me, initially, it didn't look like it really created separation. It looked like he had that separation. He just kind of maintained it with that arm, which, at some point could rise to a level that would, kind of make you think about. Let me see this one more time.
Yeah.
The
more you look at it, right?
Guy. Yeah.
I do like it?
I don't like
the rope. You don't? Okay. So
where'd you guys land?
So we landed in the same place, but we wouldn't be mad if it was called. Actually, we'd be super happy if it was called, especially at camp. And I think it would be lauded as a great call. No, but what we talked about is the nuance behind and let's see if you agree on this. Okay, if it's a shot to the chest like this, a shot is a little more than it is. But if it's contact to the chest, the amount of force required for a foul is much less than if it's just knocking hands off or trying to swim through a chuck. You agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that 100%. Because the second time I saw the end zone view, you see more of it's not quite shot-esque, but you can definitely see there's body reaction from that left arm to the right shoulder. So that's where it's definitely, I agree with what you said, that if it were called, no one would be angry with it. But it's going to be a real hard one to see on the field, I think. Because for me, I want to see more of a violent reaction by that defender because of that shot. Because as a back judge key here, you probably won't recognize it, to be quite honest with you, without something big from that defender.
Okay. Yeah, obviously we didn't even get it. That's a good point. We didn't even get into the mechanics. So what's interesting here is if this is the headline judge's responsibility, it's more likely to be called than if the back judge.
If they're looking at it, Brandon, if they're looking at it.
Yeah, I know. We're looking at it
many times,
but we're
all the line of scrimmage officials do is watch the ball, like you said.
You could imagine a scenario where the line of scrimmage official should be looking here.
They would have a much better perspective.
And they would have that perfect angle between players.
Yep.
The back judge is the word that we love, straight lined.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. But back judges can't use that excuse because they got the whole middle of the field to roam. So
that's right. That's right.
In a play like this, if I were working this, I would try and recognize that, okay, this is most likely going to be my key. I would go over to the near hash, so to position 1.
Interesting.
For the camera.
Anyway, for the camera. So
position 1, position 5. To the press box. So
the hash closest to the sideline camera.
Yes,
if that was your key, you don't. The worst position would be to be on the hash away from the camera. Is what you're saying.
Correct.
The best
position
angle
1
to create. Okay, cool. Okay, I like that.
I forgot that this was a reverse angle.
It was the reverse / wide TV view. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great play. Oh man, that's a great play. Here we go.
I hate that hit still. I just hate it, but it's just not a foul.
It's just not enough. I mean, I know that you don't like that. Right. I'm just going to let the video on play 4 roll. Can you introduce what we're talking about, or no? Are you not that capable? I didn't mean it like that, by the way.
So play 4, we're looking at
play.
A block in the back. We're evaluating block in the back action.
I really didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
You meant it exactly like that. You can see what happens is down at the 24-ish yard line.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a big dude in white was pushing number 50, I believe, defender number 50.
Yep.
So what we're saying is this a block in the? That's basically what the question is. Is this a block in the back?
That's all the question is.
That's really all the question.
And then if you do have it right, enforce it.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Well, the enforcement, dare I say, is easy. The end of the run,
very easy.
The end of the run is way downfield.
Correct.
The spot of the foul doesn't challenge us at all in terms of relation to the previous spot or the line of scrimmage, whatever you want to say. This is far enough downfield that we could be, if we have this as a foul, we can be very accurate getting the spot of this foul downfield. When I say downfield, I mean beyond the line of scrimmage. You comfortable with that?
Yeah.
So then we know it's a running play, right? It's a foul during a run. End of the run is the 38. Spot of the foul is way behind. Just get it from the spot of the foul, and we would go from the hash closest to this camera. I'm going to quit trying to do 1s through 5s because it's confusing because the camera was on the wrong side. Although the video work is really good. Okay. I think we've seen it. Do we dare go to the?
I think it was 80-20. Just keep the video on. 80 exactly. It's 80-20. 80% of us said this is not a foul for illegal block in the back. 20% of us said it is a foul for illegal block in the back.
Okay.
So what do we see? You can't tell me the dude didn't push him straight in the back.
Well, and so was there? I'm sorry, I didn't memorize everything. Was there a third option about like enforcing the foul some kind of weird way?
No,
from
it
the
was
previous
just two
spot?
options. Basically, it was two options.
Okay,
Just
cool.
a very basic question:
okay,
is this a foul or not?
So if you had a foul, your only option was to enforce it from the spot.
Correct. We helped you out there.
Perfect.
You can't get it wrong.
Okay, I've gone first every time. You guys go first on this one.
I mean, it's pretty easy. The big guy, the blocker, he puts his hands up to tell you he did not push him in the back. So why is it so hard? Well, I'll go first on this one since these guys are probably sick of hearing just your voice. They really need some fresh material here. So I don't have this as a blocking back. First of all, we have to determine, is he in a chase position or not? I do not see this as being a chase position. So at that point, then we know that there can be contact in the side as well as contact in the back. And I think that's where the initial force comes from. I know what Tuta is seeing here that, he gets him in the back, but I think that's part of the continuing action, and he never breaks that contact. So if we consider that first contact to be, halfway, partly in the side, and then that continues into the back, then I would not have this as a block in the back.
All right.
So and I don't have it for blocking the back for a different reason. I have the defender kind of running away from the contact. He didn't want all of that smoke that he was getting from that big dude, and he kind of turned and started trying to run away, and he just turned his back to the dude, and that's really, to me, why the contact ended up in the back, not because the blocker intentionally blocked him in the back.
That's fair.
Beautiful. I think the correct answer is yes to both of those explanations. I don't think it's not really that important. I think those are two really good explanations. What about mechanics? All right. So this is the great play. This is a great play if you are a couple positions, I think. Let me just think of, pulling.
Deep wing at the bottom for sure.
Deep wing at the bottom, right, Corey? This is just awesome for deep wings because you're not. I know we keep saying that we're doing this, but you can't tell me we do this with high frequency of really officiating the detail of blocks by pulling right guards when you're lined up to the left of the offense.
Yeah, I mean, at least the way I do it, I don't ever consider the position.
I know. That was for effect. I apologize. Okay, that was for effect. No, go ahead.
That's totally fine. But I think we definitely need to identify that because, our initial pass key, he doesn't do anything. He just kind of moseys on in there. He's not going to do anything. So at that point, that's our signal to say, okay, what's my first threat? And I'm going to see this big dude, pulling around the left end saying, okay, here's our lead block. Let's see what he's got, and that would open up 100% right to me as a deep wing. I would hope.
Totally. But I just think that right, if you're working as a deep wing and you're thinking, okay, I got the receiver, and then I'm really going to transition into dead ball officiating. This is where the crew needs this look. Especially if somebody comes and fires a flag in here.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to get this flag picked up.
I think this is why that zone concept is really good for running plays because we just work whatever comes into our zone. And it just so happens that a big dude comes into our zone. So that's what we need to work.
The question, though, I have seriously, and I know that I'm probably prolonging this discussion more than needed, is
imagine that.
When do you pick it? When do you pick him up? Do you pick him up when he's at the numbers? Do you pick him up just before he's about to level the guy in the back? Obviously, the later you pick him up, the more at risk you are to inadequately judge it. So
I think it's going to naturally come that way because, don't get me wrong. This guy's going inside our initial pass key, so we got to kind of have an eye on him.
Okay.
But he's not coming in with any type of velocity whatsoever. And that's just going to take our eyes to where the point of attack is. So to me, this is just going to naturally, organically present itself if we're looking in the right areas. If we have play recognition, number one, if we read run right away, that's huge because then we can then have that kind of those soft eyes to say, okay, let's just identify. We got the point of attack coming to my edge. And I think if we get into that mindset of, okay, play recognition and then soft eyes because of the zone concept, it makes it a lot easier.
Awesome. All right. Well, We gained some time in the air there on that one.
I think we did.
Um,
We're almost to halfway through, and we're almost to an hour.
oh, new venue.
Oh yeah.
These people treated us really well. Thank you.
Yep.
Not that they'll hear this, but that was so cool. Okay, what are we talking about on this play? Do we need the results, or is this another like?
This is just foul, no foul again. This was the second play of the scrimmage, which is really cool.
2 of these plays out of 10 have been play 2 of their respective scrimmages.
Correct.
All right, what are we looking at?
So we're just looking at the hit on the quarterback, and basically we're just trying to determine, is this roughing the passer or not? There's only 2 answers. One answer is if we're going to enforce it as roughing the passer. The other answer is if we're not going to call roughing the passer. And it was 54% of us basically said this is roughing the passer. 46% of us said this is not a foul for roughing the passer.
I want to actually little check with the analytics department real quick. No, never mind. Okay. I thought that perhaps there was a third option that nobody took. Obviously, here's the thing: rules wise, if you have roughing the passer, we're gonna basically enforce this from the end of the play, right?
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. So you could have perhaps had an option to
enforce it from the previous spot.
I mean, I still think your career as an author, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's trending downward, but yeah, we could have had an option to enforce it from the previous spot. But by rule, we all know if this down marker guy would quit moving so fast, we all know that this is definitely from the end of the run, even though it's a foul during a pass play, correct?
Correct.
Roughing the passer by rule is a foul during a pass play. So you would think previous spot, but there's a special enforcement, which is it's a personal foul. So those can go from the end of the last run as long as there's not a change of possession.
Possession.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which there's not. So okay. Everybody who called it nailed it because they only had that option.
They only had that option. Yeah. Right. The rules writer.
So now we got it. Great. So we know how to enforce it, obviously, because we were told how to enforce it. But what about the? Oh man, this is an interesting evaluation for RPS, and we do see the center judge number 3 drop the flag, so that spills the beans a little bit. But what about what you broke this down? In my opinion, quite well in the breakout session.
And we had a great discussion about it in the breakout session. Really it started with the center judge explaining exactly what she saw, because that's what we asked. That was the first thing we said before we even put the video on. We said, "What did you see? Tell us why you threw the flag."
That's how it works. By the way, that's how it works. We're working these. I don't know if people think we're not ready, but we kind of know what happened out there. Right. We're totally invested in these plays, and we come and we say, "Okay. We had a foul here," and we're so surprised that they say they had a foul, right? No,
right?
We already knew it, and they want to watch everybody. If you call a foul, you want to watch the play.
Exactly, and
the first opportunity at camp to watch the play is in the breakout room with all of your peers, whether there's like 6 other crews in there, 8 other crews, whatever the camp size is, right?
Yep.
And that's nerve-wracking.
It is.
That's super. I don't care who you are. That is nerve-wracking. And you are the master at doing it. And everybody just wants to see the play. But you say, no. What did you see? You're basically having them fill out the foul report, fill out their game report on the spot before we look at the video. All right, cool. Keep going. I just think that's a really cool thing that we do.
So the discussion that we had on this particular play is the initial contact by the defender as he jumped and landed into the quarterback was fine. No big deal because it wasn't late. It wasn't unnecessary. It was just a continuation of him jumping to attempt to bat the pass down. But what ended up happening was there was a second act of the defender pushing the quarterback forcefully to the ground. And we thought that action was totally unnecessary and avoidable and forcible enough to rise to the level of a foul. So we do think that this is a foul for roughing the passer.
Which, by the way, is exactly what she described she saw.
That's correct.
I thought that was really cool. Not everybody in the room agreed this is roughing the passer.
Correct.
Which is fine.
And there was also a little nuance also that she added. Remember,
Yep.
she said it was the second play of the game,
Yep.
and she wanted to make sure that we weren't going to have edgy type of action. So the flag was almost like a statement flag. In addition to, we're not just she's not just making something up. It is clearly content.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it was a statement flag as well.
Yep. We had a lot of quarterback hits at this camp. So we had I'm telling you, we had great content in the breakout rooms to just kind of just riff on so many different aspects of roughing the passer.
Yep.
This is a hard one because, like you said, that it's not necessarily the initial timing. Everybody wants to talk about late and timing, and it wasn't really that. It was just that, what did he really do to show us he was trying to avoid this?
Right.
And the answer is nothing.
Nothing. Right.
And so we felt like there was time for him to avoid this because there is that boom, second act, like forearm shiver kind of thing going on. I'm not sure if that's the right way to describe it, but man, it's just a great, forget about this test, which it's cool that we have a 50-50 split basically, but just a great memory from this camp that she was able to articulate what she called before she ever saw the video. Yep. We put it up. And again, not everybody agreed. I would say it was like, I don't know if I'm just making this up. I felt like it was about 70, maybe 67-33 in the room that felt this was roughing the passer, and then 33 didn't, but that's okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, you got to set the bar somewhere. That's what she was kind of talking about. And just so if you can be consistent, calling this because you feel like that's avoidable and he didn't do enough to let up and he didn't do enough to avoid this second act, then.
And just to follow up as well, and the test writer did a horrible job on this question. We did have an issue enforcing this penalty. That's why this play was so interesting, because we had an issue enforcing this penalty. And it was a little bit of an adventure. But we ended up getting there in the end. This is not a previous spot enforcement. We're going to tack this on to the end of the play. So we really could have put positions on here. We could have done all kind of different.
We could have done a lot of good stuff. Line of scrimmage officials. We're at a camp. There's a chain crew.
Yes.
Just tell them, hey man, just before you move so fast, before you chase the runner down as he's being tackled, just pause. Just pause. There's really no hurry. What's funny, though, is both these teams ran a little hurry up this night.
They did.
We had a little tempo as well.
Yep.
So down marker guy was excited. He was exuberant.
And this is the second play of the game. He did the same thing on play number 164, where we had also had trouble enforcing a penalty.
So this is play 2, and then we go to play 164, and there was the same
thing. So obviously we need to do some work when we get to camp from that game administration standpoint.
That's really good. That's really good. Let's go on to the next one. Do we need to go to the analytics on this one, or is this another?
This one is pretty much a slam dunk. But we did have some options here, and I do like that. Let's go to the analytics. Maybe watch the play first. We watch the play. We see what happened. The defender on the left side of the defense tried to time the snap, got into the neutral zone. We see we have a flag down for offside.
Okay.
Good job, line of scrimmage official. Brandon, I know you love that, putting the ball down.
I do.
That's your favorite thing in the world.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't until I started working the position that kind of really needs it.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
So there we go. So that's the play. Basically, we need to enforce this offside penalty. How do we enforce it? And this one is we were pretty consistent on how to enforce it. There were just a few stragglers, but
this would be the question that's on the left side of the bell curve of the quote unquote test.
Yes.
You good with me on that one?
Yeah. We gotta know how to enforce DOF.
I think we're gonna have DOF. So just for completeness, we will go ahead and make sure that we see that 96%. Look, we were snapped from 1st and 10, 8:30 position 3. 96% said put it at 1st and 5, 8:35 position 3.
Yep.
Yeah. 5 yards from the previous spot.
We're
not going to tack on. We're not going to go 5 yards from like the previous spot, except for where the run ended. I guess
Right.
that's what 3% of us did.
Well, 100% of us did that this weekend when we attempted to enforce penalties twice. We went to the
Oh.
wrong spot.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
yeah. So it happens. So we got to
Okay.
put ourselves out there. It happens.
Oh. Birmingham.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The mothership didn't obviously catch it. First and 3 at the 8:37. That would be a tack on
That's a
for
tackle.
DOF. So we talked about tack ons and we did have one, by the way, on the last play with roughing the passer.
Right.
That's a personal foul.
We cannot ever tack on a DOF. Ever.
Right.
Ever.
So let's all remember that that tack on is really just an exception to our normal enforcement rules. However, probably forget what I just said. I'm pretty sure if you look at defense offside in the rule book, it's a previous spot enforcement as dictated by the penalty statement. So it really doesn't matter about 3 and 1, or you don't even have to know anything about penalty enforcement. You just have to know that rule.
Yes. That's just like referees have to know that, have to make that announcement. And that one should come out easily all day, every day. We just got to know. That's just one that we just got to do.
Good point. So hang on. We talk a lot about, here we go. We talk a lot about, the video's back up, I believe. We talk a lot about flavors of DOF real quick.
Yeah.
You hate it when I keep going on these things, don't you? But do you want a flavor of DOF? What do I mean by flavors? Look, you've got lined up in the neutral zone. You've got into the neutral zone causing a reaction. You've got contact in the neutral zone. You've got unabated to the quarterback or a clear path or whatever, unimpeded. I'm not sure what the word is now that everybody's using. You've got just simply the classic one of, in the neutral zone at the snap, and that's a live ball foul. So how do you want this reported? It's a kind of
I would be asking,
question.
when I see the flag down, I already know what the flag is for, to be perfectly honest. I know.
This guy's he beat the snap.
Yeah. So I would just be asking, and just to confirm, did he line up? Was he lined up? And that's kind of the way I say it. I guess people are used to me asking incomplete questions. But
that's funny that you say that, you mind if I explain another thing that I was reading about this week?
Sure.
I was reading about.
First of all, you don't read, so
I'm not
sure where this is going.
I sparingly read. I read articles. I really don't read books as well as I should. That's a weakness. I was reading about an article of a family that had I think they're called septuplets.
Yep, that's 7.
That's 7. Yes, That's exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
These kids, they were given no percentage of chance to live. That was the headline, so it was clickbait, and I got into it, man, right? Because obviously it's going to be a great story at the end.
Right.
Okay. Well, it's funny because they went through and these kids created these 7 kids had pretty much their own language.
Oh wow!
Now you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So the researchers or the author or somebody who quoted a sign, I don't know, said, yeah, that's common. So when there's a relatively large group of people, large meaning more than just 2 people, right? When there's kind of a relatively large group of people and they have a common goal or they're a common bond, they kind of create their own language about what they're doing. That's exactly what you just described.
Correct.
So when you go to the line of scrimmage official and you've been working with that line of scrimmage official and you say, lined up, that's all you have to say.
Right.
He knows or she knows exactly how to respond to that.
Right.
But of course, if it's a guest on the crew or you don't work in crews, you don't have that luxury.
Right.
So, there's a really interesting thing that applies to what we do.
Right.
And that you just kind of brought up.
And 30 minutes later, yes, I will want the flavor of this foul because I want to announce.
How do you announce it then?
Offside number 11, defense in the neutral zone at the snap, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Awesome. Just amazing. We are down near, this is a try.
This is a try. That's correct.
Yep. This is a try. And you see the flag come in. I don't know what else is floating around on the screen. Is that the ball?
It looked like a hat or something.
Yeah. What is that?
I don't know. I just noticed that.
Oh, the ball ricocheted off the back wall.
Oh, okay.
We're good. We're good.
I didn't know if it was one of those
I was
termites
like,
yet. Remember,
oh, that
people
was
got
weird.
to experience termite season.
They were everywhere. They were like in our ears by the time we got to the car.
South
Anyways,
Louisiana.
yeah.
That's why I left.
We got DPI, and we are going with this as DPI. Okay, so we're not. I think the question was not. We're not judging the DPI aspect, right?
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Which, I mean, if anybody wants to argue that, I mean, come on, dude has left arm wrapped around the dude's waist, clear and obvious.
Corey, you guys looked at this one?
Yes. Yeah. This was like Tuda said, it's pretty clear and obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So can you walk us through the rules test aspect of this play?
Ooh, well, we got to enforce it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Foul in the end zone, go to 2-yard line, right?
Okay.
Nope. It's an exception.
Where's the analytics there, Cruzy?
Stand by. We got it. How? Oh, we had an issue on this one. Oh, I remember looking at this.
No, I don't know if we had an issue. I don't even remember because I didn't even pay attention to what the enforcement was. I just knew it would be a great question to ask and take a look at this.
Look at this.
We're all over the place, so we can't enforce this penalty.
You never noticed that the more options that the author gives, the more the percentages are
That's right. You can just put 20 options and somebody's going to jump on one of them.
All right, hang on. Let's go through this now. So spot the ball. Let's go through. Is it clear what we're talking about? Just where's the ball going to be at the next
How
play,
are we
right?
enforcing DPI? That's
because the result of the play is an incomplete pass for an unsuccessful 2-point conversion. Obviously, the offense is going to accept the penalty, so we got to put the ball somewhere.
Yeah.
Spot the ball at the 2-yard line at position 1. Okay, so where were we snapped? Oh, it's right there in the question, position 3. So this would mean okay, I'm not going to try to type all this. I had a great idea, but I'm not going to do that because I don't know how to do that.
So if we go 2-yard line at position 3, we're assuming that this is a normal foul in the end zone from scrimmage, and we would go previous spot enforcement.
14% said 2-yard line position 3.
Well, we're not doing that.
Okay.
I'm 100% sure we're not doing that.
4% said 2-yard line position 1.
We're probably not doing that either.
Not doing that.
Okay. So
6%. Go ahead.
Well, hang on a second. Never mind. I'll talk about that later. Let's go. 6% said what?
2-yard line, and then if team A wants to move it, then they can move it. Oh, we ain't doing the 2-yard line at all. So
2-yard line's out.
2-yard line is out.
Okay. So the
24% of you, thank you for playing.
Nice.
Have a nice night.
I always have to buy time by calling it Luxner math, and you just popped on with 24%. So your inadequate author skills, although you're trending back up on this play, by the way, you covered for it with math skills. I see.
Notice I didn't fall for that, but continue.
5%. 1.5 yard line position 1. We're getting closer.
Yes.
Maybe.
So, well, one thing we know, this is going to be a half the distance to the goal enforcement. Where is that? That should be in the try. It should be in Rule 8, try rules, maybe. I don't know if it's in
so because it's a try, it's half the distance, or because it was at the 3, it's half the distance.
Because it's a try.
Because it's at the no, I think it specifically says at the 3.
All right.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this. Start.
First and goal at the 3. Position 3. We have this play.
Oh yeah. Corey, I think you're right, Corey.
Okay.
What you just said, Brandon. Yeah.
First and goal at the 3, position 3, and we have this play, but it's not a try. What are we doing?
I'm looking.
Are we going to the 2 position 3? Well, I'm giving it away.
Yes.
That's okay. Are we going to the 2 position 3, or are we going to the 1.5 position 3?
2.
Where's the doggone?
Well, that's interesting. I think you said the opposite, didn't you? Or did you not? What am I missing?
All right, here we go.
You said it's first and goal. It's different. It's not a try.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Let's regroup here. Go ahead. Yeah. Let's just get to the rule.
Yeah. Are we going? So where are we going? What you said just now, scrimmage play or try?
I jumped ahead. I
Okay.
jumped ahead. Talk
All
about
right.
the try.
Stay
Talk
on the
about
try. Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
It's in Rule 10.
It's in Rule 10.
For the try.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Go ahead. You got it, Corey?
Yeah.
go
So
ahead.
it's FR 111. Let's see, 10.25. B, penalties for defensive pass interference fouls on a try from on or inside the 3-yard line are enforced 1/2 the distance of the goal line. That's it. So it has to only be tries from 3 or in.
That's try only.
Yep. So otherwise, if we have a false start on the try and we're now from the 8 and there's DPI, we would go to the 2. DPI in the end zone.
Wait, say it again?
So the false start, move the try back to the 8.
Back to the 8. Then we have DPI in the end zone on the subsequent try attempt. We would just enforce it like a normal DPI and go to the 2.
Penalties for defensive pass interference fouls on a try from on or inside the 3-yard line. Or
let's wrap up. Okay, let's keep going on the rule class, but let's wrap up this question. This is a try. This is a try. I'm getting confused. This is a try.
You ain't the only one.
I know. Position 3 on the B3. We saw what happened with the video. We already ruled out the 2-yard line.
Yeah, it ain't the 2. We know that.
We're going. We just said the rule reference. We're going half the distance, right?
Yep.
Okay. Position 1, position 3, or whatever position team may request, because position 1 had 5%. Position 3 had 31%, and position whatever team A request had 41%.
See, now we got to go back to Rule 8 for the try discussion.
Oh, there we go. I don't remember how this rule is written. I always was very confused by this rule, by the way.
Well,
I think they can. I think they can request to move it because it's a team B foul.
Okay. For fouls by Team B on a try, a repeat of the down after a penalty against Team B may be from any point on or between the hash marks on or behind the yard line where the penalty leaves the ball.
There you go. Where'd you find
by
that?
Team B on a try, FR 87.
So they get whatever lateral position they want.
They can move the ball to wherever they want it.
Okay, here. So Team B fouls on a try. A has ball in hand. I don't know if I have fellow billiards. I mean, you've seen me play. I'm pretty good.
Ugly.
No, I'm pretty good. B has ball in hand. All right. So they can.
A.
I'm sorry. B foul. A has ball in hand. This isn't confusing enough. So let's not confuse our A's and our B's. A has ball in hand. All right. Just think of it that way. Now, can we get back to what if this is not a try?
Oh.
Is it the same rule?
No, absolutely not. We're going previous spot enforcement.
We're snapped from the 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go to the 2.
Yep.
On this very same play. What if we're snapped from the 2?
Then I believe it's half the distance.
We're going to the 1.
Yes.
Okay, so if we're snapped
previous spot, we ain't moving the ball. We got to go from the previous lateral position.
There's no ball in hand. So the try is what gives a ball in hand.
Correct. Well, not only ball in hand, Brandon, we got to make sure, because sometimes we'll have a foul at position 5 and we snap from position 1 and we try to go and put it at the 2-yard line from position 5. We can't do that. And it's easy to get confused with that. We got to make sure we go back to the previous spot. And
you're talking on non-try downs.
Yes.
This is confusing.
It's very confusing.
Let's all figure this out. But okay, let's say this. We've all had 2-point conversions where the offense says, I want it on the right hash.
Yep.
Let's say the right hash is position 1. Let's say the DPI occurs in the wide side of the field, way outside the left hash.
Yep.
So obviously that would be position 5. Okay. Now, what we learned from this question is that we are going half the distance to the goal to the 1.5. If they want it, by the way, they don't have to take that yardage. We also learned that. They don't have to be at position 1 anymore. They can go to any position they want. They have ball in hand. They can even stay at the 3. They could stay at the 3 with ball in hand and decide to kick it or decide to go for 2.
They could.
It's crazy. It's really important to go through all those scenarios. And I don't know what percentage of coaching staffs know this rule.
0%.
But though, no, I disagree with that. But it's not very high. I don't think it's in the double digits. I don't know how big a deal you want to make this. That's my question for you. How big a deal do you really want to make this? In terms of lateral position, if they went for 2,
I would ask.
You would.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I would say where you want the ball. Yeah. Because if they want to move the ball, then I would definitely allow them to. I don't want to just put it back down at the previous spot.
At the previous spot.
And just say, well, you're stuck there. I would like to ask.
So and then I think Corey's always really good at this, but my messaging around this would be you can have the ball at the 1.5 in whatever lateral position on the field you want at whatever. Although I wouldn't even say that.
Oh, you mean like pushing it back to like the 3?
Pushing it back to the coach. I would say all of that. No. I am.
What?
Yes, coach. You can have the ball at the 1.5 at whatever hash you want.
Oh,
if you say that, they know exactly what they have to play with.
Yeah. I thought you meant you was going to give them the option to put it on the 3 or on a 50 or on a 38 or whatever. I'm not doing all of that.
No. I don't know why they wouldn't take the 1.5 if they're already going for 2.
Because it used to be that angular kicking thing. Remember how?
Well, yeah. I've had. What did I have? Contact in the neutral zone on a try 1-point conversion.
Yeah.
And the coach declined it.
Yeah.
And said, no, we'll keep it at the 3.
And it was snapped right in the middle at position 3?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Keep it at the 3. So, I don't know. So this question just leads into a whole array of issues, right?
It does. Oh, yes. This is a good one, Brandon. You're going to like this one. We're looking at the action as the runner tried to juke out the defender at around the 36-yard line. We're going to see it very clearly from the low end zone. We're going to see some action where I can't read that jersey number, but it's in the question. So whoever, jersey number, whatever, blocks a dude right in the back as the play is ending.
All right. So the essence of this question was, I think, a couple different things.
No, the essence of this question was very simple, but also we had to enforce it. I think
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the question writer did an excellent job on this one.
Oh, you're trending. The author's trending back up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we first we need to determine is this a foul or not, and then we got to enforce it.
Enforce it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it is pretty simple, but it is multifaceted as well. So if it's a foul, where do we enforce it from?
Correct. Well, also, what kind of foul is it?
Now I see why the author's patting himself on the back. So we have block in the back on the table. We have unnecessary roughness on the table.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we have nothing on the table.
And we have nothing on the table.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot to talk about. I'm assuming the results
they're all over the place.
Are all over the place, which is just great. So let's go look at that. I mean, it's really just one action. So we can go look and see that. There it is. All right. I think I can do this time. So, people even got to select what foul they have. That makes it
only
easier.
20% of us thought it wasn't a foul.
Right. Okay. Maybe we should start there.
Yeah, absolutely. Evaluate the action.
Man. So a running a running head start and a two-hand shove square in the back of his opponent, sending him to the ground out of bounds. Not that out of bounds even really matters as much as I meant to not really even say, but I got that as a foul. What do you think?
I'm gonna defer to Corey first.
Okay.
I have it as a foul. Yeah, that's
different than just a little shoulder nudge,
Right.
maybe between the numbers in the back. It's a rather forceful hit in the back.
Correct. That's
Okay.
not a legal action. I agree. It's a foul.
All right. So as we started with what you said tonight, sorry, 1/5 of the world is now upset at you.
Not at me. I didn't scratch out their answer. You scratched out their answer.
All right. So we've eliminated. So now we get to do the Luxner math. 37% said UNR, but we have a little difference of opinion on the enforcement. Okay. 37% said UNR. 44% said block in the back. It's almost a dead heat, but I mean, how do you differentiate between that? I'll go back to the video real quick while we talk about that.
I mean, if you're determining action that would otherwise be a block in the back, but then there's question as to when the ball is dead or not. For me, a block in the back has to be a guy getting blown up, just standing there from behind. To me, this is a normal football play that gets suspect because of the timing. But then when we look at the timing of it, sometimes we have little hits against a runner that we let go because it's at the same time as he's, stepping out of bounds. I think the same latitude would be afforded to this guy who's blocking. I would have a hard time making this a UNR personally.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, I thought you were going to go the other way with that.
me too.
Honestly.
You surprised me with the ending. That was a cliffhanger that I didn't expect the ending.
I mean, because I believe that action starts while the ball carrier is still in bounds.
So basically, you're saying this is a foul because the ball is dead. So you're calling this
No, it's just a block in the back.
No. Right. That's where I thought you were going to go with it.
Yeah, but you would say it as a UNR. You got it as a UNR. How do you get?
No,
to
I
UNR?
do not have this as a UNR.
Oh, okay.
No. I said
Okay,
I
we heard
have
the
a hard
same
time
thing.
making this a UNR.
Hard
I
time.
got okay, got
Okay.
it, got it.
Okay.
What do you think I said?
I thought you said you have it as a UNR.
You explained it, and nothing about your explanation said UNR, and then all of a sudden, we both heard you say it's a
Right.
UNR. So it was bizarre.
Right.
But you don't have it as a UNR.
No, I do not.
And I think your explanation was so spot on. I mean, this is just a block.
Right.
This is a block. It starts when the ball's live. It's just not a legal block.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if we see the player who's blocking drive his shoulder into the back of the player, I think we'll have a different discussion. But a two-hand push is, to me, that's just a block in the back.
100%.
Okay. We had a little issue on how to enforce it then.
We did.
So we're going to
struggled.
IBB, meaning illegal block. That's the code for illegal block in the back. Basic spot.
End of the run.
Yep, it's a foul during a run. This was a pass play though. So why? But
Because
pass play
correct.
was over.
The pass play is over as soon as the player gains possession
Right.
of the ball.
So this is a new segment of within this play. It started as a pass play.
Yes.
It ends with a running play.
Yes.
Basics, since the foul occurs during the run, it's basic spot is the end of the run.
Correct.
Very, very simple, right?
Correct.
Great. So now, okay. So the end of the run and 156, our line of scrimmage official. I don't know why I say our because he just came to the camp. But anyways, he's in the jersey we gave him. I guess that's why. Great spot, right? Great spot.
Yeah.
Great spot at the 36. That toe steps out of bounds. Great spot. The foul. What's the spot of the foul?
38.
38. So is the spot of the foul beyond or behind the basic spot?
Beyond.
Beyond. Basic spot 36, spot of the foul 38. 3-1 says go from the basic spot unless the spot of the foul is behind. Well, that's not the case here. So we're just simply going from the basic spot. So we're going from the end of the run, 10 yards at position 1, right? So from the 36 to the 26, repeat the down. That's a good play.
It is. Yeah.
It's just a great play.
And again, another one where we got to quantify what people's what the judgment of the officiating community was. It's not just a rules question; it's also getting to understand a judgment perspective as well.
Yeah, I mean, 1 in 5 of us said no foul, and then it was basically just for rough math, it was 50-50 for the rest of us, which said UNR or IBB, and then within those subsets, there was disagreement on how to enforce it.
Right.
So is the beauty of this play is amazing. Last one.
All right. Coming home.
Did you say
another great play?
Did you say the best? You even look at your graphics.
The graphics department is just tremendous lately.
I noticed it took you to play 10 to put some graphics on there, but
it's okay. We don't want to show off. We don't always show off.
That's right. We don't want to make everybody else feel bad by the amazing technology. We have
2 different actions that we're evaluating on this particular play.
Do. Yeah.
We saw the initial block, and now on the second go round, we're going to see some other action, like in another zip code. Actually, this is in a complete different zip code.
Another parish, I was told.
Yes, another parish. This is St. Tammany Parish, by the way, that we were.
I didn't know that.
We were scrimmaging in.
Why can't you just call them counties like everybody else?
Yeah.
Because we are special down in Louisiana.
Is parish a French word?
I believe it has something to do with the French because there's a heavy French influence, heavy French, heavy Spanish, and heavy Caribbean and African influence in, especially in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But South Louisiana is a very interesting place.
Yeah, we know. We know. All right. Well, line of scrimmage official. Look at these mechanics.
I know. He's watching the ball, Brandon.
No,
that's what all line of scrimmage officials do. Watch the ball, right?
Great.
That's what you told us.
Great. Yeah, I didn't say that.
You did. You've told us that repeatedly.
Surmised. To use your word, you've surmised that. I don't even know what surmised means, but you've concluded that from some of my other ramblings.
Yeah.
We're not watching the ball here. Okay. Now we may have seen the ball out of our peripheral. We got to this block. Yeah. And we see what is a clear and obvious foul for holding. We don't gotta do any of this stuff. Just look at the end zone view. We got it right. Think about this. The blocker uses the front collar as a handle to basically control. He just handles this guy. He uses it as a handle to handle him. Right. So just think about that. If we see that and it meets all of our timing and proximity factors, I mean, that's very restrictive when somebody's grabbing your front collar and using it as a handle to handle you, right? Okay, so we don't need to go too deep into that. This UNR, what did we break down about this UNR?
Well, there's nothing to really break down. There's just tremendous mechanics by the center judge who's working action. He could have easily just been running. All right, I got to go spot the ball. Let me go run up to my next spot. Yeah. But no, he's doing a great job working the backside of the play, which is what he should be doing, and sees something that is clearly and obviously a foul.
Yeah, it's for no reason this guy just goes off and.
No, it was a reason. It was a reason, but it wasn't an appropriate reason.
Not within the football reason.
Correct. Well, if you look at the end zone angle, he kind of got twisted a little bit, and he didn't like that too much. Left guard. In normal circumstances, if we talk about OH, in fact, this is a really good play to talk about offensive holding. The left guard had a grab, twist, and restrict of that defender who took umbrage, dare I say, to being restricted.
It's a new one.
But the ball's gone really quickly, so I think that this is just from a a timing and proximity standpoint, this would not be a good foul for offensive holding if we were to throw out flag. But the action itself, just look at the left guard, clear and obvious twist and almost takedown.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Love it. Ball's gone right away.
Gone right away. Immediately. Yeah.
Great body position. Just lazy with his technique, whatever. But I mean, look, we're not. That's why they say you could call holding on every play. Sure, I guess if you want to go there, are we really going to call that holding? No.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not going to call.
Please
that
don't
holding.
ever call that anybody.
Now we're going to call this impactful illegal block at the edge.
You can't. Yeah, you can't just hit dudes.
Unbelievable mechanics by the line of scrimmage. Really good job. Really good job. Love it. Okay, good. So now we got 2 fouls.
We got to enforce.
Great mechanics, both obviously correctly called. We got to enforce it. Let's get to our. Oh gosh, is this fun or what? I'm sure everybody's just having a blast as much as we are. Holy smokes! Look at all these options. Okay, walk me through this. So okay. Oh boy. Okay, 2% said A first and 10, B 49 position 4. How in the world would we get to A first and 10, B 49 position 4? What would that be?
So we would only be calling the personal foul. We would not be calling holding, and we will be enforcing the personal foul, I believe. What was the end of the play?
Yeah, 836. That's correct.
Okay.
36. That's the 51, which is the B49.
Yes.
Cool. Love
yes. UNR only.
Okay, great. Second and 11, A20 position 5. How in the world would we ever get to that?
That's a great question.
Position 5 is way over on the other side. Is that where that was the previous spot?
Yeah, it was the previous spot. I don't know how we would get there. Let's just scratch that out, please, because I mean, I don't know how we would even get there.
2% took us there. So
I know. Just, again, thanks for playing, but good night.
What was the reason the author put that option in there?
I don't know, but somebody went for it. Second and 11. How did we get there?
Second and 11, 6 yards back. What
was the spot of the?
So we already talked about that, right? This is a spot foul. What's the spot of the foul?
Oh, maybe if we enforce the holding from the previous spot.
A35 cut the pass. Defender B11 tried to pursue him at the A30.
What was the foul?
Oh, holding. This is holding only.
Holding only from the previous
holding
spot.
Only from the previous spot.
Ah, yes. That's where we went.
Okay. All right. Well, no. I mean, this hold is downfield.
Yeah, we can't go for. That's why I already told those people thanks for playing. Man.
Yeah, well,
we didn't even have to talk about that.
Okay, we can't do that. I think we already explained it. I hope we already explained it.
Yeah.
Okay, what is A first and 10, A35, position 4? How do we get there?
So enforcing them both from the spot of the foul
of the
UNR.
Yeah. We enforce the OH and then we enforce the UNR at the spot of the UNR.
Yep. OH plus UNR spot UNR.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's what it is, but that's incorrect. Yes.
Yeah. No, we can't let the. Wait a second. Is this a dead ball foul?
No.
We didn't talk about that.
We did not talk about it.
That's
but even if we do make it a dead ball foul, we can't go back to the spot of the foul to enforce a dead ball foul.
The spot of B's foul, just think about the 3-and-1. Other than DPI with less than 15 yards, okay, the spot of B's foul never matters.
Really? I never heard that. That's an interesting.
It never matters. Think about 3-and-1. The only spot of the foul that matters is the offense's foul behind the basic spot.
Yeah.
And then everything else has got to, sync up to that.
Yeah.
The spot of the defense's foul never matters unless it's DPI within 5. I'm sorry, within 15.
Yeah.
So we can't use the spot of B's foul as really anything. Now, B being the defense. If it's a change of possession and now B's the offense, yes, that's different. But that didn't happen here.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, we can't do that. A first and 10 at A36 position 1.
Ooh.
Okay, hang on. Spot of the OH was position 1.
Correct. We're getting closer.
Okay, so we just went Wait. A35 ran out of bounds at the A36. Oh, this is no foul. This is no foul. Yeah, this is nothing.
Oh, come on. All right. Thanks for playing again. I mean, come on. We can't just hit dudes we can't hit dudes like 70 yards away from the ball because we get mad. I mean, come on.
Well, we can't handle people with the handle at the collar either. So
I think missing the OH is acceptable.
That's
missing
fine.
that UNR is literally not acceptable.
That's fine. That's fine. All right, here we go. 2nd and 11 at the this is fun, by the way, trying to unpack all this, but the author doesn't know what he did. 2nd and 11 at the A20 position 1. How do we get to the A20? Oh, spot foul OH.
Mm-hmm.
OH spot of foul only.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I want to ignore I know, but at least I enforced it, right? I don't care about the UNR. I'm just not that kind of guy. But I got the OH and I enforced it correctly.
Yeah.
Because I got the OH from the spot of the foul, which was the A30.
Yeah.
Okay. What is
that's UNR only.
Oh.
Properly enforced.
Oh, yes. So that's so cool how that just populated. UNRB only, but this is actually correct.
Correct.
So the spot of the UNR, again, that the spot of B's foul being the defense never dictates where we're going to enforce something from, unless it's DPI inside of 15. Okay, what is this is 63%.
That's if we have a OH and a UNR and we properly enforce it.
Okay, so we went OH, A, spot of foul, UNR, B, succeeding spot.
Yep.
That gets us to this hash that was closest to the camera,
Correct.
Position 1.
Correct.
We went back from the 30 to the 20.
Yes.
And then we went from the 20 to the 35, automatic first down at position 1. And that's obviously the correct answer.
No. Whoa, Brandon.
Oh.
Correct answer? the top 3 are actually correct answers.
That's a good point.
Yes.
Depending on your
based on your
interpretation.
judgment, yeah.
Yeah, but you said, come on, when you said you had a problem with not calling the UNR.
No, I probably would want to fight people who have answer number 3, but it's still a correct answer.
Gotcha. All right.
Questionable judgment, but
Love the whole. So love the mechanics on this play.
Yes.
Just absolutely love the mechanics on this play. Go back, line of scrimmage, transition to this block right here inside. Don't get too far ahead of the play, but don't just watch the football. Get to this block.
Yeah.
Nails this call.
Yep.
Center judge. Don't just make a beeline for the succeeding spot, dead ball spot. Thinking about ball mechanics. Ball mechanics are important, but that can that's the next phase of your process. Nails this totally unnecessary cheap shot.
Yep.
Would always want this called.
Great
Yeah, I can't think of a time where I wouldn't want this called. Maybe like the last play of the game. I don't know.
No.
I think we just want to call.
Yeah. I don't care what part of the game it is. We just can't have dudes hitting dudes way away from the play. We can't do that.
And and I don't know, is this tight to live ball versus dead ball? If there's a question, just make it dead ball because it's just so unnecessary. It's a way. Are you going to go? We did have a good discussion, I think, on another play at camp about UNR, UNS, and that's been a theme lately. Sorry.
We're used to Gigi.
Yeah. Well,
backing up.
She hasn't made an appearance in a while. We did have UNR versus UNS.
Yeah. I think if this ball is clearly dead, then I'm easily going UNS. But it's a football, even though it's not a football, it's a block. It's just a dirty play. But I don't think we can have a live ball UNS with contact. I know some people were, and we did have a good discussion about this, Brandon.
Right.
The ball needs to be dead for us to have action like this be UNS. We can't just go throwing UNSs around because we want to quote unquote take control of the game or whatever. That's just the rules don't support that.
Yeah, there it is. So I totally agree. I mean, if this is deemed a cheap shot after the play, I think this kind of fits in the UNS category since it's not part of the play at all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good.
If the play is over and we know for a fact the play is over, I'm very comfortable making this a UNS. This is 7,000 yards away from where the action is. Totally unnecessary.
So I don't know if video rules test was a great name for this, but man, it exposed a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You know,
and we got to talk for 2 hours about football.
My gosh. And this was just unbelievable. I mean, this was, we're enforcing penalties, we're making judgments, but it's not just foul, no foul. I hope that's not the message. It is
correct.
It is why we're making our decisions.
Yeah.
It is the elements and the factors that feed into why we're making the decisions, and then how we basically, do what we do next. So,
right.
Well
Which is
done.
The most important part, Brandon. Honestly.
Right. Yep.
Because once that ball is dead, and once those flags hit the ground, all of a sudden the players are not moving anymore, and everybody who's in the stands, they're not watching the players anymore. They're watching us, and we need to hurry up, quickly get the thing right, and move the game along.
Yep. And we had that, right? We had that with the intentional grounding play where there could be multiple judgments involved.
Yeah.
By the way, on that block in the back, the second block in the back play, if you guys want to go back, the back judge threw the flag and it was picked up. And to this day, I still don't know why it was picked up.
Deep wing. I think it was a deep wing.
Okay. Well, that would be, I don't know why. I mean, we don't write up game reports or whatever, because why would we? But anyways, that is, I mean, he threw the flag on that play and then somebody picked it. It's just so much good stuff.
Yeah.
So much good stuff. This is your pregame, because your pregames go 3.5 hours now, don't they?
4. I tend to do 4.
You're 4 now?
Yeah, 3.5 wasn't enough.
Yeah, you're lucky Corey's not on your crew. I think that when our pregames went over about an hour, I would say an hour 39, Corey would start tapping his watch. Because he kept time. You know how to
exactly.
Yeah.
And
but you're not, by the way. Time. I don't know if we made the announcement, or should we? Maybe we shouldn't. But I will anyways.
We did.
You are now. We did.
Oh, go ahead.
You're now a back judge.
Yep, back to a back judge. Yep.
Back to the back judge, and you're not having any unnecessary anxiety about that at all, is what I understand.
No, I love punts. I love punt returners. They are the most thoughtful, exacting players on the field. So I'm excited to be back there with them.
So, luckily for you, well, actually not. We should have gone out and got an actual back judge clinician. There's a camp coming up that you're going to be at that you can get some back judge work. And I hope there's some good back judge campers there that I can learn from. I don't know if the clinician. Gosh, we should have gone out and got an actual back judge clinician, but I think you might have a little. I'd be interested to kind of be inside your brain. I might think that you're taking a few more reps at back judge, huh?
Yeah. I might peek over there a time or two.
I love it. So that's the thing. We will be in Boise next week.
Next week, that's correct. So and we're going to probably
not be live next week.
No, we're going to record because we have a company event next week. I believe, Brandon, you may not know this, and Corey, you may not know this, but Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz, he called me yesterday and he wanted to see about getting back.
Is he out of funding?
He probably is. He sounded pretty pitiful, and he needed a job. So we may put Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz back to work.
Here's what I think. I think that despite some of the challenges we encountered in New Orleans / Baton Rouge / wherever else we were in that place, that camp produced some great content.
Oh, absolutely.
Smokes. As it always does. And I mean, how lucky are we to be able to have whatever video we were to scrape off of it and use it to help us all get better. So
we'll just wait for next week. We got double barrel action on the turf. I mean,
come both sides of the field, man.
Yep. Yeah.
both sides of the field. And so look for the Doofendersh. What is his name again?
You're being disrespectful again.
We'll do a little randomizer with some college football action next week.
And then we'll be back with some Boise, with some more camp plays, I'm sure, for VSG.
10 weeks of Boise leading us up to the start of the regular season.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be here before you know it. It really will be.
It is. So, all right, everybody, great start to the summer. For those in Boise, see you. I will see you two next Monday.
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
Yes, you will.
Later.
Adios.